can be such an influence and such an attacking force. This free to be taken by Diarmuid O'Sullivan from Cloyne. The goalkeeper and the full-back both coming from the club which gave us the great Christie ring. And that is a line ball for Tipperary.
Very poor free by Diarmuid O'Sullivan, to be fair. Has them still under pressure at the back.
Well, whoever goes through to the semi-final from this, the other side will go through to the quarters, of course, and I think the two managers will feel there's a lot of room for improvement. Mark O'Leary runs on here to Eugene O'Neill. He's dragged down by Sean O'Halpine. It's a free into Tipperary. This is what happened here as he was trying to get away, restrained by the number 7. And it's going to be O'Neill himself who will take this. A goal and 3 points so far, and he can make that now a goal and 4. Well, when you look through the spread of scores, you see O'Neill doing a lot of the scoring. Eddie Enright's got 2 points, Lahey's got a point, Brian O'Mara's got a point, and Liam Cahill's got a point. It's taken here by Derek Barrett. Good hand pass outside to Sean O'Halpine. Giving a decent ball inside to Joe Dean. Getting himself off the ground quickly. Partly blocked. Alan Brown's after it. He's come forward. He's got a goal chance. Kicking in, but it's stopped by David Kennedy on the line. Great play by the centre half back who was back there to deny Cork. Still the pressure. Pat Ryan in there, trying to deny Brian O'Mara any opportunity. Ryan is again keeping it forward towards Fergal McCormack. In steps Joe Dean. Dean on his right hand side, and he's flashed this one over the bar. 8 points now for Joe Dean. What a forward. And Cork are in the lead once again by just a point. Here he comes once more. I think he's just about converted almost everything. I think there was a wide at the beginning of the game by him, but everything else has been a score. Eamon Corcoran turning it back once more. Pressure on John Brown this time. Brother of Alan, of course, the number 12 for Cork. And their brother before them, Richard, played in the Munster final back in 1990 against Tipperary here. Here's a chance. Lash saved brilliantly. Ben O'Connor was denied by Brendan Cummins. The action seemed to stop for a moment. It comes out to John Carroll. Cork have had 2 really good goal chances in the last couple of minutes. They're about to introduce one of their substitutes. It looks to be Kevin Murray. Meanwhile, Brian O'Mara hits this one and strikes it beautifully between the posts for his 2nd point of the day. It's level again, Tip 110, Cork 13 points.
The game has stepped up now, Jaron. That was definitely 2 goal chances, and then it's a point down the other end. A magnificent save, it has to be said, from Brendan Cummins.
He's a brilliant goalkeeper. Big man who uses his physique extremely well. Great athleticism and anticipation, and Ben O'Connor was denied that time. This time, doing the denying is Sean O'Halpine, denying Tommy Dunn. Clever ball inside there by Wayne Sherlock. For the substitute, Pat Ryan, steadying himself, hitting it with great accuracy, wonderful direction, and his first point since coming on as a substitute.
We have a game now, Ger, I hope.
I think we certainly have. And there's still over 20 minutes to go. Wayne Sherlock feeding it inside to the man from Sarsfields in Glanmire, and that was a great score. And they've got another one to Derek Barrett, playing just his 2nd championship match. He's made it 15 points to 110. You can't take your eye off this game for a second at this stage. Both sides have settled down, and the hurling has started to flow. O'Mara inside towards Shelley, and what a great catch by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Denied space and opportunity to get it out. What a tenacious lad, what a strongly built fullback. David Kennedy, great anticipation, wonderful positional sense, striking it back, but there's nobody there waiting for it. And an easy one for Wayne Sherlock to go across and gather. Mark O'Leary, however, comes over to block. It's O'Leary who gets it up. There looked to be nothing on, and it's in beyond Shelley. And now Shelley is racing like a greyhound. O'Sullivan, however, wins the race. What a clearance.
Now we're hurling, Ger.
It's great stuff. David Kennedy. Back into the centre once again. Beyond O'Halpine. Away by Brian Corcoran. Lahey's anticipating. He had a man just ahead of him, was Mark O'Leary, and sending it straight to Wayne Sherlock. I don't think the ground for the clock is going to John tonight. Here comes Ben O'Connor. A goal chance earlier on. A point this time.
That's a great passage of hurling for about the last 5 minutes. Wonderful catching. Fantastic clearance by Dermot O'Sullivan. Beautiful point to finish it all off.
This was the point, and it was Ben O'Sullivan from Newtown Shandrum nipping in. Denied a goal earlier. He gets his point. He's got 3 in the match. Now you can listen to the crowd, excited by what they're seeing down there. There may be huge sporting events elsewhere today, but for the 50,000 people plus here, this is what they want to see. The magic of the Munster hurling final. Michael Ryan is about to enter the fray. That'll be a second Michael Ryan from Temple Derry this time. Cork have a free.
Sure, it's interesting you should say about, we've got a Euro 2000 final today, and the football has been magnificent. You would be wrong to deny it, but this is something so special. It's so different. It's fellas playing to be at work tomorrow morning, having given battle out here. Great credit due to these guys. Absolute commitment all the way.
There's Michael Ryan. He's just come in, and Mark O'Leary has made way. Had a few chances, Mark, but didn't score. It's Pat Ryan. The free is just about 65 metres out. Some switches and alterations being made. He's holding on just a second. You think about all these fellas like Pat going to work tomorrow. You think about fellas who've had to give up their holidays. Young lads married, girlfriends and all the rest who anticipate going away to the sun, and they've had to make sacrifices for this, to play in the spectacle of the Munster final. And that's brilliant goalkeeping again by Brendan Cummins. He's a real star today. Broken down by Michael Ryan. John Carroll trying to take it out. Ryan's around as well. This is the new man in, number 18 there with the blue helmet.
But to be fair as well, Ger, they're lucky people as well. Lucky men to get the chance to be out there up to those people. And while, people say they're not given enough, they get great credit in their own counties, in their own parish. There's great honour to play for your county. It's a wonderful thing to do. So they're lucky people as well. As Tommy Lyons says, what else would a young man be doing at this age of his life? It's wonderful for them.
They're lucky to be blessed with the amount of skill they've got as well. The sideline taken by Derek Barrett. The new Michael Ryan has come in, has gone to midfield. That's Alan Brown. Oh, the umpire was ducking. I think he thought it was coming his way, and it was too. That was the shot. Yes, the umpire very wisely decided, oops, I think I'll take a dive here. The puck on was taken really quickly. Pressure back on the tip backs once more. Philip Marr, cool as you like, striking it sweetly off his left-hand side. Up towards Shelley. Lovely break of the ball to Tommy Dunn. Tommy's now in right half forward. Wayne Sherlock's after him. Brilliant shot. Oh, it's in. Tommy Dunn.
Brilliant goal. Cal's flick. Unbelievable little touch and a flick. You won't see better than that anywhere else today. That's a 1-2 extraordinary proportions.
What a goal. A second for Tipperary. 2-10 to 16 points. Tommy Dunn. 15 minutes to go. John Lahey driving it back in towards Shelley once again. Dermot O'Sullivan and Shelley. What a contest. Liam Cahill making a better angle, trying to line up Eugene O'Neill perhaps. He's got O'Mara coming forward to help him. Doesn't need him. Going by Fergal Ryan, stopped by Sean O'Halpine. Ryan picking it up here, the Cork captain, driving it into the right half forward position to Timmy McCarthy, skipping away from Eamon Corcoran. Inside towards Alan Brown once more. Brown striking it and putting it over the bar.
Magnificent point. Now we're hurling, Ger.
This is what people have come to see. Cork 17 points, Tipperary 2-10, that's 16 points. A point in it. But this was where Tommy Dunn came forward and executed a most wonderful shot in off the post. No doubt about it, Tip celebrates.
But just before that, there was a flick on by Carl up into his hand as he went by him, and that was an extraordinary piece of hurling. It made that goal.
Michael Ryan belting it in towards Eugene O'Neill. He's struck down, he's inside the rectangle, it's a penalty. It's a second penalty of the day for Tipperary. It was Fergal Ryan who upended Eugene O'Neill. There's no doubt about it, he was inside the rectangle. Arm held back, penalty, the referee has decided. Some will think it's harsh.
I'd like to see it again, Ger. I genuinely would like to see it again.
Nicky English is in there. This was what happened. He went down. Tip will claim his arm was dragged back. And they've given the penalty to John Lahey as Cork bring in Kevin Murray. Lahey, second penalty, saved again. Donald O'Cusack's on the goal line. They get it away to Brian Corcoran, and Tip have missed a second penalty.
Getting like the Dutch.
Dutch or whatever. They've missed it, but put it down to a very good save.
At least it was three in the goal, Ger.
Brian Corcoran had his stick in behind the legs of Donald O'Cusack, and between them they managed to block it.
Great save.
Cork still lead in the match by just a point. Kevin Murray is in for Fergal McCormack. That's the latest change. It's anybody's game. 13 minutes remaining.
To be fair to Fergal McCormack, you look at it again, that blow on the head did not help that man. You just can't chip a blow like that and not take something out of you.
Jimmy Barry Murphy, his side ahead by 1 point. Cork have the sideline ball. Tip will feel they have been most unlucky, missing 2 penalties, 1 in each half. And 1 very good goal by Eugene O'Neill, following a little uncertainty, I suppose, by one of the Cork backs. That's Michael Ryan trying to get the ball away. Down in that part of the ground right now, there are 2 Michael Ryans. Nicky calls from the sideline. Timmy McCarthy just getting a block on that. Last touch went to a Cork man. Next touch to Eamon Corcoran. Nicely cut up. Barrett contesting there with Eddie Enright. Pat Ryan nipping in. Great control towards Alan Brown. David Kennedy out there first time. Eamon Corcoran trying to get the ball away. Pressure now. Timmy McCarthy. Here he comes. This is his trademark. The man who loves to solo and race and tear into the fences. And in the end, it's come back off the post. He might have had a point there. Dean, much more economical. Tidy hurler. And he's hit it, and he's put it over the bar. 9 points.
He's a predator. He's a predator. He waits on the edge. He picks up the snappy balls, and they're over the bar.
Well, he's the artful dodger, a little pickpocket almost of a player, but he's got 9 magnificent points this afternoon for Cork. He's always cool under pressure as well. Here's Sean O'Halpine. Tip not putting in a challenge. Down towards Ben O'Connor. Over there defending is Paul Ormond. Philip Marr coming across to offer assistance. Ooh, it was thinking about a hand pass to David Kennedy. And he drags his man back, and it's going to be a free into Cork. Just one of those little moments when Philip Marr, with a bit more experience, might have had time to get that ball well and truly out of defence. He was attempting to link up with David Kennedy. It wasn't a good hand pass, and the referee is now having words with him. He's already had his number recorded, so this has to be a yellow card.
Yeah, the Tipperary full back line look a little bit dodgy when the ball comes in. The speed and pace inside catches them slightly, and Philip Marr and Paul Ormond have switched around a bit, and they're finding it difficult to cope when it comes in fast.
Liam, one of the statistics which is quite amazing in contrast to the first half, with 25 minutes in the second half gone, only 2 wides, and another point now to Joe Dean. He's got 10 points in all.
Yeah, they've settled down, Gerard. They're starting to play hurling all the time in the second half. Again, that puck out again, the Tipperary are trying.
Eddie Enright not able to get that ball too far forward. It's Sean O'Halpine instead. Eamon Corcoran, the left half back, trying to scoop it forward. Taken up neatly here by Timmy McCarthy. He's wrestled down. It's a free to Cork. big broad smile on the face there of Eamon Corcoran, protesting his innocence.
You can see Eamon Corcoran protesting there, and see Sean O'Halping protesting earlier on Eugene O'Neill. There, you know, sometimes players can grip your arm and drag out of it. Now, I'm not suggesting that happened, but sometimes you can do that, and you can manufacture it free, and that's what Eamon Corcoran is saying, and that's exactly what I'd say that Sean Oak said earlier with Eugene O'Neill.
Pat Ryan. He bends this one with the little bit of breeze that's around beautifully. The puck out's been taken. Ryan's got 2 points in this match, but the puck out was taken almost immediately. The ball went over the bar. Pressure in on Philip Maher once again. Dean is chasing after him. There's Ben O'Connor, and the number 2 is Paul Ormond. He wants to wave it wide, but the umpire has gone across there and is signalling that it's going to be the game's first 65.
Johnny Lahey is not making his presence felt today, you know. He's in midfield, he missed that short puck out. He's been switched, I think, now at this stage, but he's just not making his presence felt like he has in the last 2 days. And you always have to say, if Johnny doesn't come up trumps, how will Tipperary cope, you know?
Yeah, John Lahey has now gone into left half forward. Michael Ryan and Eddie Enright look to be the midfield pairing right now. Pat Ryan taking the 65, dropping it in towards Alan Brown. Brown trying to get the stick to it. They try to force it in. Kevin Murray was there as well. Michael Ryan from Upper Church Drumban. Nice clearance. O'Halpine putting pressure on John Lahey, now putting pressure on the Tipperary defence, laying it off to Timmy McCarthy, holding onto it somehow on his left-hand side. And Cummins was in there, but there was also a man, Ben O'Connor, in the square, the referee decides, as the ball was sailing in, and it's a free out to Tipperary. But so many really good individual performances during the second half. Lahey rising up, here he comes, taking on the Cork half back line. He's got a free.
Change of scenery might help his game and bring him back into it, but he's not gone yet.
Paul Kelly is about to be introduced by Tipperary in just a matter of moments. Meanwhile, Eugene O'Neill has put over another point, and that's a goal and 5 points now for the number 13. 20 points to 2-11. And there's the new man in, Paul Kelly. Paul Shelley is, we understand, the player who is about to make way. Nicky English is ringing the changes, and Tommy Dunn has gone to full forward.
Yeah, they're going to try speed, obviously, on Diarmuid O'Sullivan, try and change the game plan, because the big physical presence is certainly not working as well as they would have liked.
Cork have a 3-point lead, and there are just over 6 minutes to play. Michael Ryan towards Liam Cahill. Going out there first was Wayne Sherlock. He's beaten with the ball, however, by Ryan O'Mara. John Brown this time kicking it downfield towards Ben O'Connor. Paul Ormond's out there to mark him. Here comes the number 15, taking them all on. 3 tip men converging on him. And again it's Dean, what a classy player. To Shawnee McGrath. And McGrath's put this one over the bar.
And the 3 little wizards in the inside line, Shawnee McGrath, Ben O'Connor and Joe Dean. Hard to keep them, hard to cope with them.
Well, this was Dean. This time he's the provider, but he's turning in some performance, Joe Dean, and Shawnee McGrath put that one over. Fergal, Ryan, not the greatest of clearances. John Lahey tried to step forward. 2 Cork men against him, and in the end, it's Derek Barrett and it's Sean O'Halpine. O'Halpine out towards Barrett. There's Enright kicking it, intended for Lahey, but out over the sideline.
It's noticeable that every time Lahey gets the ball, Cork are actually closing him down very, very quickly. They've decided, like Cork, like Tipperary had in the first half, to put pressure on Corcoran. They're putting pressure because they know Johnny Lahey's inspirational. They know if he lands a big point, it's going to be a big lift to the Tipperary team.
5 minutes to go. Are Cork destined to hold on to their Munster title and advance to the semi-finals? Will it be the quarter-finals for Tipperary? There's still a fair amount to play, and Mark Landers is being prepared, last year's captain. It may just have been a precaution because of the injury to Derek Barrett. Sean O'Halpine about to take a sideline ball for Cork. Tip needing scores. But still, only a goal in it. Enright. It's a wasted chance.
At this stage, yes. Shawnee McGrath's come out to play left half forward now. Small man on John Carroll. You know, it's a complete change. You see the two managers making different changes. Speedy man in on Dermot O'Sullivan, fast man out in John Carroll.
Tip with 2 wides in the second half, 14 in all, following their fairly miserable first half where they dominated but couldn't take their points. This is John Carroll. Low ball inside, tender for Tommy Dunn, comes straight back out at him again to Alan Brown. Belted towards Ben O'Connor. He's seeing a lot of the action in the second half. Nice pick up by Ben O'Connor. 3 points to his credit so far. Great block down by Paul Ormond. Comes back to O'Connor once again.
That's great play by Tipperary there. Great play, the shadow in shadow.
Some terrific individual jousts out there. Great duels. Cahill. Tommy Dunn was trying to take it down for himself, but it's Dermot O'Sullivan. Another huge clearance down towards Alan Brown. He's now in there towards Kevin Murray. Here's Murray. And Murray has put the ball over the bar.
It's a magnificent point. Give credit to Dermot O'Sullivan. The backs don't get credit for some of these. Kevin Murray, definitely a great scorer, but a great clearance.
That was a huge clearance, almost the full length of the field on a very still day to give Kevin Murray his score. Here comes Brian Corcoran, put under sustained pressure. Fine, lengthy clearance down towards Timmy McCarthy. A couple of tip men there, however. Here's Michael Ryan, challenged by Pat Ryan. Forward by Alan Brown, inside beyond Joe Dean. Brendan Cummins coming tearing out from his goal. They all miss it, except Michael Ryan here. Challenged and fouled by Joe Dean, held back, free out to Tipperary.
Tipperary, Cork half back line are starting to play a lot better the second half, and it's made an awful difference.
Tip, who have missed 2 penalties, they were saved. Here comes Eugene O'Neill. Inside it goes to Tommy Dunn.
A brilliant goal.
This one. Tommy Dunn has got his second goal of the match.
The move worked. In on the edge of the square, changed the scenery.
13 minutes after his first, he benefited by the pass from Eugene O'Neill, and it was a rocket. Great goal. Try keeping up with this one. 2 between them. Derek Barrett. It really is still possible for Tipperary. About 2 minutes remain.
That was a magnificent goal, but having said the half-back line, Brian Corcoran let that ball right under his legs and to the inside to Eugene O'Neill, and a wonderful finish by Tommy Dunn.
Tip have refashioned their side, a new midfield pairing during the second half. Dunn up at full forward, Shelley off. Still time to play. Shawnee McGrath growing up in Glen Rovers, he'll have dreamed of days like this, taking on Tip in the Munster final. But he'll have also dreamed about putting over the bar.
And the fast puck out.
Again, the fast puck out, which Cork, I think, have now anticipated. And the referee says the last man to touch it was Brian Corcoran. No arguments from Brian.
You know, to be fair, you know, they haven't anticipated as well as you might think, Ger, because every time they see they lack that little bit, you think they'd be a little bit sharper on the quick puck out, but they've been caught on it quite a bit.
Eamon Corcoran is coming up to hit this one. Nicky is telling them how much time remains. Oh, he's missed it badly. Taken up here by the substitute, Paul Kelly. Blocked down by Timmy McCarthy. McCarthy still trying to take Cork out of trouble. It's Tommy Dunn instead. Lovely play by Dunn. They need a score. It's just gone to the left.
Unfortunately, Nicky has his hands on his head. He should have kept that ball alive. Nicky knows that. Tommy Dunn now knows it. That ball should have been kept alive at this crucial stage of the game.
Cork are slower in taking their puck outs. They don't need to hurry at this stage because the match is going into injury time. It's down to the referee's discretion. Great catch by David Kennedy, centre half back for Tip. Up to Paul Kelly. They want to score, and he can get it for them.
A magnificent point as well.
A lovely point by the substitute.
Great second half, Ger. Great second half.
neither side would in truth deserve to lose, because they both had great moments of supremacy and superiority, and the two managers side by side. A lovely gesture involving Mickey and JBM. All eyes on the referee. Can Tip get the ball back? Can they score again? Can they turn it into a draw? Cork want to score of their own to put daylight between them, and McGrath strikes it. That's a bit more like the dream he'd have had as a youngster.
You know, that's the great thing about the two managers. Shawnee McGrath's move to the left has worked as well. Game over.
It's all over, and Cork are the Guinness Munster hurling champions for the second year in succession. Shawnee McGrath's late point delighting Ted Owens, Jimmy Barry Murphy and the rest of the Cork backroom team. It was a Cork side that created 37 scoring chances against Tipperary's 35. Jimmy Barry Murphy, John Crowley and the rest of the selection committee will feel it was a job well done. Tip will go on to the quarter-finals of the All-Ireland Championship. They'll have learned, they'll have benefited. They've had 3 tough matches this year, and they're not out of the hunt for the other title.
Not by a long way.
This is the Munster Cup, however, adorned with red and white ribbons, but a most enjoyable second half, Liam.
Absolutely wonderful, and I would not back a lot of bad money on these people not meeting again in the final. And you know, you could even see the title reversed, but it was a wonderful second half. Some magnificent pieces of hurling, some wonderful scores, full-blooded gusto. You can't but admire both sets of players, having given us a poor first half. It was wonderful second half, and full credit to Tipperary, a young team on the rise that did so well, and fair dues to Cork to hold on and keep their title.
Diarmuid O'Sullivan there, along with Mickey O'Connell, and we'll remember some of those enormous clearances by Diarmuid O'Sullivan, first half and in particular in the second half. But overall it's been a festive occasion, enjoyed I think by everybody who loves hurling. Okay, there has to be a winner, and on this particular occasion it's Cork who are the champions for the 48th title in Munster, winning by 23 points to 3 goals and 12. And you say to yourself, how does somebody like Tommy Dunn score 2 absolute peach goals and still finish on the losing team? Let's go down at this stage and see what Tom Cashman has to say about it all. He's talking with Jim Carney.
Tom Cashman, Cork selector. You knew many great days as a player, Tom. This was sweet too, I'm sure.
Oh, this is great. Munster hurling at its best, really, wasn't it? Had everything. Could have been a draw in the end, but I just think, okay, we gave away some stupid goals, but on the day I thought we were slightly the better team.
Whatever about the goals, you've got great points.
Yeah, I must say like that. The guys who came on, Pat Ryan, fresh legs, had a great midfield last half an hour. But I must say we're delighted with the team, we're delighted with the win.
Yeah, and not everybody in hurling would have known an awful lot about Derek Barrett going into it, but he played a wonderful game.
Well, we have Derek, I think, he was a minor for 2 years, or not 21 for 2 years, but Derek, you know, he's the heart, he's great, good player, and he did very well out there today.
Tom, these two teams could meet again.
Hopefully. Wouldn't it be great?
Just a word about the game finally, Tom, last day. The way Sean O caught ball and delivered ball there today, this really, well, as you said, hurling at his very best.
Sean O was super fit. I hope he might get the Olympics during the year, because that could try his hand at anything, you know.
Thank you, Tom.
Give him a
Thank you very much.
Yes, that is Tom Cashman there, great number 6 in the past, of course, along with his brother Jim. He's now a very valued member of Cork's backroom team. And is that Sean O'Halpine? I think it is down there. I do remember when they brought the McCarthy Cup back into the Grand Parade in Cork, and there was a great big platform there for the reception of the team. Well, he was the darling of the crowd that particular night. He got the biggest cheer of all. And I think all the young ladies in Cork in particular have a soft spot for the man wearing the number 10 jersey that belonged to Marco. Christy Cooney there on the right, that's Sean Kelly. Christy is the vice chairman of the Munster Council. There's Sean from Kerry, of course, who is the chairman. And the team captain to pick up the cup, Fergal Ryan.
Head forward and down. Cork Articles, the Cork League, Cork Rowan and the Tipper Dun. Ardvola, Dunrator, Pat Orden. Haggers, Mila Bickas, Da Aroraha, Guinness. 2 Black Rock's own. Cork's captain, number 2 in his back, Fergal Ryan.
It's a nice start to the beginning of his captaincy. He kisses the cup. The Munster trophy goes back to Cork. Cork the champions for the 48th time in the South. And that's the wonderful setting here. He might have a couple of focal ready.
Tana Saram and Carnshaw Glaka and Kunti Kaka.
He had a couple of focal ready.
It's an honour and a privilege to be standing up here representing a panel of players that we have here. Not only representing them, representing the people of Cork, my club Blackrock and my family. I think we put to rest the people who might have said or would have said that we were flash in the pan wonders. We have shown them that we are a force to be reckoned with in Munster and outside of it. There's a lot of people to thank in the back room and in every bloody room of this team. I'd like to start with the panel of players. Without them, we would not have achieved this success. The commitment is unbelievable now to be playing at this grade, and it's a privilege to be captain of this panel of players. Also, we have the backroom staff. We have Fred Sheely, we have Johnny Cowley, Bertie Oak, Tom Cashman, who was the last Blackrock member to lift this cup. We also have the one and only Jimmy Barry Murphy. Also, we have the sixth selector, Dr. Khan, our masseur, John Allen, and the man who looks after us with all the gear, Tommy. I'd also like to pay a special mention to our trainer, our physical coach, who must be the most quietest man I know, Teddy Owens. Without further ado, I'd like to thank our sponsors, ESAT Digifone, who have looked after us in every way. And I'd also like to thank the County Board. This is a great day for Cork to put back-to-back Munsters, and hopefully we'll go on and put back-to-back All-Irelands. Let's go back and paint Cork red.
Yeah, I think they'll be painting Cork red, all right. We come now, Liam, to the whole question of the man of the match.
Well, I mean, you could consider lots of people for man of the match. Tommy Dunn for Tipperary was magnificent to get that goal and so forth. But when you look at it and you look at the Cork full forward line, the return they got, and you look at Joe Dean, he got 11 chances for the hour, and he put away 10 of them, you know, and he was inspirational, lots of other scores. So you could say Sean O'Halpine, you could say lots of people, but my own view is I would give it to Joe Dean for the fact that he took serious points when they were very, very necessary.
He got 10 points out of 11 shots.
11 shots. I mean,
and he made a couple of other points as well.
Yes, and he got those points at crucial stages as well.
Okay, so the man of the match is Joe Dean, a very, very worthy winner, I feel. Let's go down now, meet the managers there with Jim Carney.
Nicholas English, one of the great Thurles and Munster hurling occasions, but not a win for the home team.
No, we were very disappointed. You know, we were, you know, at the end, like, you can have all the classic games you like, but both teams go out to win, and we went out to win, and we're disappointed, you know.
And yet in the last few minutes you came back there, almost stole a draw at the least.
Yeah, I think in the end we'd have stolen it, but I think in the first half, you know, we got a few chances to be ahead, and we didn't take them. And you know, when you miss those chances, you know, it's very hard to play a team like Cork, who are All-Ireland champions and have the great players that they have, and you know, they give you a chance. If they do give you a chance, you must take it.
The statistics will show, I suppose, Nicholas, that the goals kept you in it.
Yeah, I think so in the second half, but I mean in the first half I think we had chances which, you know, could have made it very difficult for Cork to come back into it.
Yeah, a final thought, you might see each other again for the years out.
We've a bit of work to do again, get back to the drawing board. Like, at the end of the day we must refocus quickly. We've to play in 3 weeks time, and you know, hopefully we will get back to playing again.
Okay, Nick, so let you into your players in the dressing room, and thank you for joining us and talking to us. Yes, Jimmy, sporting handshake there from Nicholas English, and appropriate on a day like this when hurling was seen at its brilliant best.
Well, it was a great game. I mean, there was a lot of tension out there, I suppose, and a number of players made a few mistakes which they would normally do, but certainly it was a great game, I think.
Jimmy, you had to ask your team big questions, and even in the last couple of minutes after enjoying a good lead, it was slipping a little.
Yeah, we didn't play that well in the first half in particular, and as Nicky said there, they had a lot of bad wides in the first half, which could have been costly for us, but thankfully we hung in there, and I thought our second half performance was excellent in fairness, and a few of our players upped their performance 100%, and we took the chances that came our way.
Yeah, I think the daily newspapers will tell the story tomorrow, Jimmy, that when you called on your subs, they really answered the call.
Yes, and Pat Ryan in fairness was very, very disappointed not to start today. But when he came in, he certainly answered us, and he proved that he has a huge part to play in this Cork team.
Yeah, can I just put it to you finally, Jimmy, as I put to Nicholas, you might meet again.
Well, that's always a possibility. There's a lot of very good teams left in the championship yet, Kilkenny, Galway as well. So, I mean, there's a huge games ahead for both teams.
Jimmy, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.
Yes, since the new system, of course, teams have met in the Leinster final, come back to play in the All-Ireland. It's also been the case in Munster. It could happen again. Today, Cork won by 2 points. Back to the studio.
Yes, well, Jimmy Barry Murphy is still the hero. Cork are still the champions. The panel are still in studio, and we'll have their analysis after this commercial break. Stay with us. The panel are still with me, Pete Finnerty, Tomás Mulcahy and Declan Carr. Congratulations, first of all, obviously, Tomás. Interestingly, Fergal Ryan said there in his speech that the team wanted to prove that what they achieved last year just wasn't a flash in the pan.
Yeah, I mean, if people maybe say they won the All-Ireland last year, a year before the time, and maybe that they were planning that this year would be the right occasion. They're a very, very young squad, but the success of last year has driven them on to actually achieve more, and they made a few changes to their panel during the year, and they brought a new guy today, Derek Barrett, and to his credit, he had a fantastic 70 minutes, I think, today, and I mean, when you see John Leahy be moved from midfield to half forward, you know that Derek Barrett has done a fantastic job, and the introduction of Pat Ryan in the second half really boosted the midfield play at that stage, and it gave the supply of ball that I spoke about at half-time that the inside forwards needed from Cork, and with Joe Dean and with Seanie McGrath and Ben O'Connor getting a free hand in the second half, it was certainly an occasion when Cork were able to tap on the points, and the goal certainly kept Tipperary in the end.
They did. In the first half, Declan Carr, Tip just couldn't seem to hit the post. In the second half, in fairness to them, they couldn't seem to miss them, except the penalties. Two excellent points that we have pointed out here at the beginning of the second half. The contrast from the first half.
Tipperary really needed to come out in the second half and get off to a good start. I'm sure it was in their heads the amount of misses and the easy misses that they had. It started very brightly in the second half for Eddie Enright. Good run up the wing him, Corcoran. Eddie has one look and pops it over the bar, and that would have done his confidence the world of good, and Tipperary's.
Yeah. A simple point and well taken. Another one.
Another one to come, as I said at half-time, Liam Cahill needed to get into the game. If he got a good score, I felt he could be a match winner. In fact, after that great point, he just didn't really get into the game. Having said that, I think really Tipperary were only going to keep the Cork half-back line at bay for so long, and the Cork full-forward line, and I think, you know, both the Tipperary full-backs did a great job for so long. They couldn't sustain the pressure after all their misses. It was evident that Cork would get on top, and they did, eventually, in the half-back line and the full-forward line.
And, of course, once again, Tomás, Joe Dean, such a central character to the attack, 10 points today and man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, at a stage in the game, when it was poor quality in the first half, it opened up a bit in the second half, and you need the leaders to come out to the forefront. And I mean, certainly in the second half, Cork had Joe Dean, and the supply of the ball he's getting makes a big difference to Joe Dean. And here we see an instant ball that's breaking out. And when it comes in, you see, when it comes into Joe Dean, he's very, very quick to react.
A lot of messing, and he just showed the simple way to do the thing.
You know, first time hurling, when he breaks through the ball, he's very, very quick on his feet. He's great vision and great striking ability, and like to score the amount of points that he got today from frees and from play was a credit to Joe.
Well done to Joe Dean. Pete Finnerty, they may have lost the match, but Tip and Tomás Dunn in particular have scored two of the finest goals that I've ever seen in the Munster hurling final. The first one in particular, where he picked his spot, and what a cracker.
Yeah, we were looking for scores in the first half, and we get two contenders for goal of the year in the second half. Tom Dunn, it was at a stage of the game in the game where Cork were getting on top, and they needed somebody to lift it. John Leahy wasn't really in the game at midfield, and Tommy Dunn, the captain, who better man to do it? Here we see him go on a weavy solo run. Now, you might say that's a speculative shot at goal, but if you see it in action replay, he looks up, he picks his spot, and he's such a striker of the ball, a free taker, a dead ball marksman. He looks at his as far away as he can from the goalkeeper, picks the spot and lets it into the net. It might have hit the post, but when you see class like that, it deserves a little bit of a reward. And it came at a time, I think that ignited the game, because it was to and fro again for the first 10 minutes of the second half. It wasn't great until that goal ignited. Suddenly, the game was there for grabs. Tipperary seemed to be getting on top, and the Cork had to pull out their experience, their stops, and Joe Dean came to the fore. Sean O'Halpin started playing it at half-back. Ben O'Connor inside was evident for the first time in the game, and I think that new man at Derek Barrett at midfield did an incredible job, and of course Pat Ryan coming on. Sure. Pat really told them who should have started this morning.
Yeah, and he'll be saying he'll be starting.
He'll start the next day. There'll be questions.
I think perhaps going back to the goals issue, Tomás Mulcahy, probably the best goal that I've ever seen at Thurles was John Fenton. Remember all those years ago, the strike
against Limerick,
but for a Sutton goal, Tomás Dunn's second goal certainly has to rate in the list someplace anyway.
Oh yeah, fantastic ability altogether, and there's no doubting Thomas Dunn's striking ability. And when the ball comes through, I mean, I'm not going to even pick out Brian Courtney missing this as centre back, because when the ball goes through, it's very quick play by Eugene O'Neill to pick the ball up. He sees Tommy Dunn inside, and great reaction out of Tommy just to turn and hit. Great striking ability, and Tipperary people probably be wondering now why wasn't the switch made earlier, that he should be moved to full forward at an earlier time in the game when they were struggling inside. But you can't change that now at this stage, and I'm sure they'll learn from today, and they'll look at it for the next day. Maybe it is a move that's possible again. Putting Tommy into the edge of the square with his hurling ability, like Joe Dean at the other end, certainly would cause a lot of problems for full-backs.
Well, certainly, I suppose when it was made, Declan, it was a wise move as it turned out by Nicky English and his selectors. When you lose a match, any match, a Munster final, you're still back in the championship in the backdoor system, but some doubts will be in various people's heads now.
Absolutely, but you know, to go back in it, Tipperary have a lot to look forward to, you know, out of this team. I think that Tomás made the point that the first half was bad from a Cork perspective. I think a lot of that got to do with how well Tipperary actually got on top of them. Now, if they had to realise half their chances, it would have been an entirely different game. So I think, you know, granted they'll be very disappointed, you know, and annoyed with themselves over certain things, but they certainly can look forward to the next day. You know, they have a lot going for them.
From a Cork point of view, Tomás, I mean, again, coming back to the flash in the pan thing last year, the truth of it is that most people last year reckoned that Cork might win the All-Ireland this year. It is this year now, and they're the Munster champions and still going for the All-Ireland.
Yeah, it's great credit to the whole squad themselves. That, I mean, it isn't easy in today's days because of the physical training and the demands there's on players' times at this stage to come back and actually win a Munster championship again. But I'm sure Jimmy and the selectors, when they look back at this game as well, they'll see that there's a lot of room for improvement, because the one big worry I had in the first half, if Tipperary had converted all those scoring chances that they had, I mean, it could have been a different story at half-time. We could have been going in 4 or 5 points down at that stage, and that would have given Tipperary a huge lift. I think Tip maybe kind of deflated themselves a little bit. They had huge opportunities to put the game beyond Cork in the first half and failed to do so, and that was the big downfall today.
Pete Finnerty, Galway obviously are waiting in the quarter-finals for the losers in either Leinster or Munster. Would they fancy Tip?
I think they'd be hoping for the losers in Leinster after the day. No, I wouldn't think any team would fancy Tip, because as Declan said, like, they'll go back, they'll regroup, they'll look at their problems. Like, they missed 2 penalties today and they only lost by 2 points.
Yes.
Had they converted both of those, they had, I think it was 15 wides or something like that. Had they converted 2 or 3 more of those, which they could have easily, it wasn't that they were under that much pressure. Now, Nicholas English has done a great job, and the tactical switch again of bringing Tommy Dunn to full forward shows that English on the sideline knows what he's doing. And when these guys get a little bit more belief in themselves, it's a great experience to play in a Munster final. Okay, get beaten, but they're going on, they get the second chance. Now they have 3 weeks to get it right again, and with English sitting down with them on Tuesday night, going through the wrongs and the rights that they did, getting reunited again. Cork are still there, they can still get another lash at Cork, and it's a great incentive for them, but I don't think Galway will look forward to them.
All right, that's all for another day, but for the moment we're going to force Hungary for a crack at this year's Leinster title. Marty Morrissey, watch this one.
The shock news from the Dublin dressing room is that Kieran Whelan has failed a fitness test, and his place at midfield is going to be taken by